After 60, something strange happens. You think life will slow down. You think attention will fade. You think romance, attraction, and relationships become a young person's game. But then one day, someone from the opposite sex approaches you. Maybe they smile a little too warmly. Maybe they start a conversation out of nowhere. Maybe they compliment you. Maybe they want to sit near you, talk to you, ask about your life. And suddenly you feel it, that confusion, that surprise, that little question in your mind. Why are they approaching me? And if you're over 60, you've probably learned something important. Not every approach is innocent. Not every smile is genuine. And not every friendly person has friendly intentions. Now let's be clear before we go deeper. I'm not here to make you paranoid. I'm not here to shame anyone. And I'm definitely not saying that love can't happen after 60. Love can happen at any age. Real connection can happen at any age. Companionship can happen at any age. In fact, sometimes the best love happens later in life, because you finally know what you want and what you will not tolerate. But after 60, you must also become smarter. Because the older you get, the more people assume you are lonely. The more people assume you are soft. The more people assume you are easier to influence. And the more they assume you are desperate for attention. And that assumption makes some people approach you with reasons that are not always pure. So today, I'm going to tell you the 5 most common reasons someone of the opposite sex approaches you after 60. Some reasons are beautiful. Some are suspicious. Some are emotional. And some can be dangerous if you ignore the signs. So stay with me till the end, because reason number 5 is the one most people fall for. Let's begin. The first reason someone of the opposite sex approaches you after 60 is genuine respect and admiration. Yes, believe it or not, this is real. Because after 60, you carry something younger people don't have. Experience, wisdom, stability, calm energy, a strong presence. You've lived through storms that would break most people. You've survived real problems. You've built a life. You've learned patience. And when someone meets a person like that, it can be attractive in a way that has nothing to do with looks. It's the way you speak, the way you listen, the way you don't panic, the way you don't chase people, the way you don't need validation. That's powerful, especially in a world full of noise. A younger person might approach you because they feel safe around you. They feel like you're grounded. They feel like you're not playing games. They feel like you're real. And after 60, real becomes rare. So sometimes, the approach is simply admiration. They may say things like, "I love the way you carry yourself. You seem so calm. You have such positive energy. I feel comfortable talking to you." And that can be genuine. But here's the key. When it's genuine respect, it doesn't feel rushed. It doesn't feel forced. It feels natural. They don't push your boundaries. They don't pressure you. They don't start asking for favors immediately. They simply enjoy your presence. And you know what? That's beautiful. Because it reminds you that you still have value. You still have charm. You still have something special. And you always will. Now, the second reason someone approaches you after 60 is because they are lonely and they want companionship. This is one of the most common reasons. Because loneliness doesn't care about age. Loneliness doesn't care about looks. Loneliness doesn't care about money. It hits people when life gets quiet. And after 60, life often becomes quiet for many people. Children grow up. Families get busy. Friends move away. Some people lose their spouse. Some people retire. And suddenly the world becomes silent. So when someone approaches you after 60, sometimes it's because they are looking for someone to talk to. Someone to share a cup of tea with, someone to go on small walks with, someone who understands them, someone who doesn't judge them. And this can be a very pure intention, because companionship after 60 is not always about romance. Sometimes it's about peace. Sometimes it's about emotional support. Sometimes it's about having someone to call at night when the house feels too quiet. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, companionship can be one of the healthiest things for older adults. But here's what you must understand. There's a difference between companionship and emotional dependency. Companionship is healthy. Dependency is dangerous. If someone approaches you and slowly becomes emotionally heavy, they start needing you every day. They start demanding your time. They start getting angry when you don't respond quickly. They start guilt-tripping you. That's not companionship. That's emotional control. And after 60, you must protect your peace more than ever. So if someone approaches you for companionship, it can be beautiful, as long as it stays balanced. Healthy companionship feels light, feels respectful, feels safe, not suffocating, not draining. Now the third reason someone approaches you after 60, and this one is very common, they approach you because they believe you have stability. This can be financial stability. This can be emotional stability. This can be lifestyle stability. This can be life is handled stability. And let's be honest, stability is attractive, especially to people who have a chaotic life. A person who is struggling financially might be drawn to someone older because they assume you have savings, property, pension, or family support. Someone who is emotionally unstable might be drawn to you because they assume you'll calm them down. Someone who is tired of modern dating might be drawn to you because they assume you're serious. Now listen carefully. There is nothing wrong with being attracted to stability, but you must watch the intention behind it. Because some people don't want you. They want what you have. They want your security. They want your home. They want your comfort. They want your money. They want your connections. And after 60, people become targets for this reason. Especially if you are kind. Especially if you are generous. Especially if you are polite and don't like saying no. Some people will approach you with sweet words and hidden plans. They'll talk about love too quickly. They'll call you special too fast. They'll make you feel like you've finally found someone who understands you. But then slowly they'll start asking. Small favors first. Then bigger favors. Then financial help. Then borrow money. Then invest in my business. Then, I need help with rent. And before you realize it, they are using you. So how do you know the difference? Here's the rule. When someone likes you genuinely, they don't rush you. When someone wants your stability, they rush the relationship. They want commitment quickly. They want trust quickly. They want access quickly. They want your sympathy quickly. Because they know if they give you time, you might realize the truth. So always remember this. Real love takes time. Manipulation moves fast. Now, the fourth reason someone approaches you after 60 is because they are attracted to your confidence and self-respect. This might surprise you, but after 60, many people become more confident than they were at 30, because you stop caring what people think. You stop begging for attention. You stop chasing validation. You stop tolerating disrespect. And that energy is extremely attractive. A confident person in their 60s is not trying to impress anyone. They're not desperate. They're not thirsty for compliments. They're not changing themselves to be liked. They're simply being themselves. And that is magnetic. Some people approach you because you represent a life they want. They want your calmness. They want your confidence. They want your maturity. They want your independence. They want your ability to live without begging. And sometimes, when a person feels inspired by you, they come closer. They want to learn from you. They want to be around you. They want to feel your energy. And this is one of the healthiest reasons someone can approach you. Because it's not about money. It's not about loneliness. It's not about using you. It's about respect. But again, you must pay attention. If someone approaches you because they love your confidence, they won't try to control you. They won't try to make you smaller. They won't tell you what to wear, what to do, how to act. They will respect your independence because they are attracted to it. Now, the fifth reason someone approaches you after 60, and this is the one most people fall for, they approach you because they think you are emotionally vulnerable. Yes, this is the dangerous one, because after 60, people assume you have lost something. They assume you have pain. They assume you have loneliness. They assume you want someone to fill the emptiness. And sadly, some people exploit that. They approach you like a savior. They act like they are your second chance. They act like they are the miracle you've been waiting for. They come with attention. They come with compliments. They come with sweet messages. They come with sympathy. And it feels good. Of course it feels good. Because you're human. But this is where you must be careful. Because emotional predators don't use force. They use feelings. They don't attack your body. They attack your heart. They study what you lack. And they offer it. If you lack attention, they flood you with attention. If you lack love, they flood you with love. If you lack support, they act supportive. If you feel unseen, they make you feel special. And then once you trust them, they start controlling you. They start isolating you. They start creating drama. They start taking from you. And when you try to leave, they guilt you. They say, after everything I did for you, they say, you don't understand me. They say, you'll never find someone like me. But the truth is, you don't need someone like them. You need peace. So if someone approaches you after 60 and the relationship feels too intense too quickly, if they say, I love you too early, if they want to move in quickly, if they ask personal questions about your money, house, property, if they try to make you feel guilty for taking time, these are warning signs. Because real love does not rush. Real love does not manipulate. Real love does not pressure. Real love is calm. Real love is patient. Real love is safe. Now let's talk about what you should do when someone approaches you after 60. First, don't panic. Don't assume they are bad. But don't assume they are good either. Stay calm. Stay observant. Let time reveal their intentions. Because time is the best filter. Good people remain consistent. Bad people eventually reveal themselves. Second, never let compliments make you blind. Yes, you deserve love. Yes, you deserve attention. Yes, you deserve companionship. But you must also deserve respect. If someone flatters you but doesn't respect your boundaries, that's not love. That's manipulation. Third, protect your privacy. You don't have to tell them everything. You don't have to tell them your financial details. You don't have to tell them about your savings, your pension, your house papers. A person who truly loves you will not need access to your money to prove their love. Fourth, listen to your body. Your body knows. If someone's presence makes you anxious, uneasy, nervous, pay attention. If your peace disappears around them, that's your answer. Fifth, never ignore your family or trusted friends. Sometimes people outside can see what you can't. Because when you feel lonely, your heart becomes soft. And when your heart becomes soft, your eyes become blind. So have at least one trusted person who knows what's happening in your life. Not to control you, but to protect you. Now, I want to say something important. After 60, you don't have time for games. You don't have time for toxic relationships. You don't have time for drama. You don't have time for people who drain you. At this age, your biggest wealth is your peace. And anyone who threatens your peace is too expensive. So yes, someone may approach you, and it may be genuine. It may be beautiful. It may become companionship. It may become love. But you must become wise enough to know the difference between love and a lesson, because not everyone who smiles at you is your blessing. Some people are tests. Some people are distractions. Some people are warnings. Some people are there to teach you what you should never tolerate again. And if you understand these 5 reasons, you will never be easily fooled. You will never be easily rushed. You will never be easily manipulated. And you will never settle for something that breaks your peace. Because you're not 20 anymore. You're not here to chase. You're not here to beg. You're not here to prove your worth. Your worth is already proven by the life you survived. So the next time someone of the opposite sex approaches you after 60, smile, stay calm, observe, and remember, you don't need attention. You need intentions. And if their intentions are real,